Good morning, students. Today, let's continue the topic on vitamin A. Vitamin A, as you all know, it is important for vision. So, in the last class, we just noticed the functions of vitamin A. That is, it is important in vision, gene transcription, immune function, embryonic development and reproduction, bone metabolism, hematopoiesis, skin health, and antioxidant activity. Okay, let's see its first function, that is the role of vitamin A in vision, which is most important for you also. So in the retina, you all know that there are photoreceptor cells. Which are all the photoreceptor cells in the retina? These include rod cells and cone cells. The rod cells contain the pigment called rhodopsin and cone cells contain conopsin. Okay, the rod cells contain rhodopsin and cone cells contain conopsin. The conopsin may be iodopsin, cyanopsin or porphyropsin. The iodopsin, which is important for green vision, cyanopsin for blue and porphyropsin for red. Okay, so in the rod cells, I told that there is pigment called rhodopsin, which is a hollow protein, and it includes opsin and 11-cis retinal. Okay, the rhodopsin include opsin and 11-cis retinal. So this is the structure of the retina. You all will be familiar with this, and this includes a ganglion cell layer, bipolar cell layer, and the layer of rods and cones. This rods contains the pigment called rhodopsin and cones contains the pigment called conopsin. Okay. The opsin locks the cis retinal in the inactive form. I will discuss it later. Next about the Wald's visual cycle. The Wald visual cycle is an overall mechanism through which vitamin A functions in visual system cycle. Okay, it is the overall mechanism how the vitamin A functions in visual cycle. In 1967, George Wald was awarded Nobel Prize for identifying the role of vitamin A in vision, and this cycle is also known as rhodopsin cycle. The Wald's visual cycle explains the role of vitamin A in the vision cycle, and it is also known as rhodopsin cycle. This includes generation of nerve impulses and regeneration of 11-cis retinal. Okay, these are the two main points which should be included under Wald's visual cycle. That is generation of nerve impulses and regeneration of 11-cis retinal. So, initially the generation of nerve impulses. I told that the rhodopsin is a pigment which is present in rods, and it has got a major role in visual cycle, and it is the membrane protein, and this protein contains opsin and 11-cis retinal. Okay. So, whenever the light falls on the retina, this rhodopsin, the pigment, the components of the rhodopsin, that is opsin and 11-cis retinal, undergo changes. The 11-cis retinal get isomerized to all trans retinal, and the conformational changes also occurs in the opsin. This leads to the generation of nerve impulses, and this gets transmitted to the brain. After the dissociation, the opsin remains in the retina. The all trans retinal will undergo several other steps, and which will be discussed in detail in the future slides. Okay. So when the light falls on the retina, the rhodopsin, the contents of the rhodopsin, that is 11-cis retinal and the opsin, undergo changes. The 11-cis retinal get isomerized to all trans retinal, and conformational changes also takes place in the opsin. This leads to generation of nerve impulses. So the rhodopsin initially forms unstable intermediates before they gets converted to all trans retinal and opsin. These include batho-rhodopsin, lumi-rhodopsin, meta-rhodopsin 1 and meta-rhodopsin 2, and finally they get converted to opsin and all trans retinal. The visual pigments are G protein coupled receptors, and the 11th cis retinal locks receptor protein opsin in its inactive form. Okay, the 11th retinal locks the receptor protein opsin in its inactive form. It is the 11th retinal which locks the protein opsin in the inactive form. Okay, so when the light falls on the retina, the rhodopsin initially gets converted to unstable intermediates like beta-rhodopsin, lumirhodopsin, meta-rhodopsin 1 and meta-rhodopsin 2, and finally into opsin and all-trans retinal. And one of the most important point is that the 11th retinal locks receptor protein opsin in its inactive form. So this is a pictorial representation of it. So when light energy when falls on the rhodopsin, it gets converted to beta-rhodopsin, then to lumirhodopsin, then to meta-rhodopsin 1 and then to meta-rhodopsin 2 and finally into all-trans retinal. Okay, till here we study. The isomerization and photoexcitation leads to the activation of G protein and regeneration of cyclic GMP. I will explain in detail. That is how the nerve impulses are generated. I told that it is a G protein that is responsible for the nerve impulse generation. Okay. So when the light falls on the retina, the rhodopsin is first converted to what? Converted to beta-rhodopsin, then lumirhodopsin, then meta-rhodopsin 1 and then into meta-rhodopsin 2. This meta-rhodopsin 2 will causes the activation of the G protein transducin and it forms transducin GTP. This transducin GTP will activate phosphodiesterase. Okay, transducin GTP will causes the activation of phosphodiesterase and this phosphodiesterase will convert the cyclic GMP into 5-GMP. Okay, so whenever there is cyclic GMP, when there is high level of cyclic GMP, the sodium channels will be open, and when there is decrease in the cyclic GMP, the sodium channels get closed. So when light falls on the retina, the rhodopsin get converted to meta-rhodopsin 2 and this causes the activation of G protein transducin. The transducin will activate phosphodiesterase and this will causes the conversion of cyclic GMP to 5-GMP. So the decrease in the level of cyclic GMP will make the sodium channel closed. Okay, the sodium channel get closed here. So there will be hyperpolarization and there will be excitation of nerve impulses. Okay, this is what happens when light falls to the retina. Okay, thus the nerve impulses are generated. So cyclic GMP acts as a gate for the cation specific channels and transducin is the G protein in the retina. The nerve impulses thus generated in the retina is transmitted to the visual centers in the brain. Till here, hope you understood. When light falls on the retina, the rhodopsin get converted into initially to intermediate unstable products like beta-rhodopsin, lumirhodopsin, meta-rhodopsin 1 and 2, and this meta-rhodopsin 2 will causes the activation of G protein transducin to transducin GTP and this activate phosphodiesterase. The phosphodiesterase causes decrease in the cyclic GMP and the sodium channels get closed here. Okay, and this leads to generation of nerve impulses. So this signal has to be terminated. This is terminated by the phosphorylation of serine residues of the activated rhodopsin by the enzyme rhodopsin kinase. The rhodopsin kinase will causes the phosphorylation of serine residues of the activated rhodopsin. Okay, an inhibitory protein called beta-arrestin binds and inactivate the rhodopsin. So this is how the rhodopsin is inactivated. An inhibitory protein called beta-arrestin binds and inactivate rhodopsin. So we completed the first part of the Wald's visual cycle, that is how the nerve impulses is generated. Next, about the regeneration of 11th retinal. Okay, so in the photoreceptor cells of the retina, when light falls on the retina, what will happen? The opsin and 11th retinal gets converted to all transretinal and the opsin. Opsin will remain within the photoreceptor cells, and the all transretinal is transported to the pigment epithelium, where it gets regenerated to 11th retinal and later enters into the photoreceptor cells of the retina. This is the one way how the 11th retinal reaches back the photoreceptor cells. The other way is that the all transretinal gets enter into the blood vessels. Okay, the all transretinal gets enter into the blood vessels, enter into the blood, and it reaches the liver. It enters the liver, and inside the liver it is acted upon by alcohol dehydrogenase, retinol dehydrogenase, and gets converted to all trans retinol, which is later converted to 11cis retinol, and this 11cis retinol enters the blood and reaches the retina. Okay, so in short, in retinal epithelium, when dark occurs, the all trans retinal gets isomerized into 11cis retinal in the presence of the enzyme retinal isomerase, and the 11cis retinal reaches the photoreceptor cells of the retina. Okay, the 11cis retinal combines with the opsin to form rhodopsin. Alternatively, the all trans retinal enters the circulation and is transported to the liver. Okay, and within the liver, the all trans retinol is formed by alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, which is an NADH dependent enzyme, and it also contains zinc. Okay, all trans retinol is isomerized to 11cis retinol and gets oxidized to 11cis retinal in the liver. Okay, in the all trans retinal will reaches the liver. Within the liver, the all trans retinal is reduced to all trans retinol by alcohol dehydrogenase, and which is a zinc dependent enzyme, and this all trans retinol is isomerized to 11cis retinol and then to 11cis retinal in the liver. Okay, the 11cis retinal is then transported to retina, and this completes the Wahl's visual cycle. So the second part of the Wahl's visual cycle is also over. So what are the two components of Wahl's visual cycle? One is generation of nerve impulses, and the second one is regeneration of 11cis retinal. Okay, 11cis retinal regeneration can be of two ways: within the retinal epithelium by isomerase enzyme, or it get transported to the liver, where the all trans retinal is first converted to all trans retinol and then to 11cis retinol and then to 11cis retinal and then transported back to the retina. Okay, so next about dark adaptation. Dark adaptation means Torsten Wiesel got Nobel Prize for studying about dark adaptation. That is when a bright light, whenever we enter a dark room after we are exposed to a bright light, we observe there will be diminution in vision. We can't see anything. This is because the bright light depletes the stores of rhodopsin in rods. After a few minutes, the rhodopsin is resynthesized and the vision is improved. This period is known as dark adaptation time, and it is increased in case of vitamin A deficiency. Okay, so the bright light just make it clear that the bright light depletes the stores of rhodopsin in the rods, and after few minutes rhodopsin gets resynthesized and the vision is improved. This time period is known as dark adaptation time. It will be increased in vitamin A deficiency. The photosensitive cells in the retina, which are all the photosensitive cells? These are rods and cones. Rods are concerned with dim light. They contain the pigment called rhodopsin, which includes opsin and 11cis retinal, and deficiency of 11cis retinal leads to what? Increased dark adaptation time. It is one of the feature of night blindness. In the humans, one eye contains about 120 million rods. That is 120 million molecules of rhodopsin. So, in case of cones, it contains bright light. It is concerned with bright light and color vision. It contains a photosensitive protein called conopsin. And as I discussed before, it contains 3 types of cones which are characterized by different conopsin, which are maximally sensitive to which colors? Blue, green and red. Blue color, the cones is synopsin. For the green color, it is iodopsin. For the red color, it is porphyropsin. One eye has got about 6 million cones. We have more rods when compared with cones. We have about 120 million rods and we only have about 6 million cones. Okay. So in short, what are the functions of vitamin A? The levensis retinal form of the vitamin A is required by the eye for the transduction of light into neural signals necessary for the vision. Hope it's clear. Levensis retinal is concerned with transduction of light. The retinoic acid form is required to maintain normal differentiation of cornea and conjunctival membrane. That is, this vitamin A, if one of the form of vitamin A, that is retinoic acid, is required for differentiation, cellular differentiation. That is normal differentiation. Okay. Then vitamin A is required for what? Rhodopsin cycle, that is Ward's vicious cycle. Vitamin A has also got antioxidant property. The vitamin A is required for integrity of epithelial cells throughout the body. Has got an important role in embryonic development. Also has got role in growth, differentiation and activation of B lymphocytes. Okay. So which all are the roles of vitamin A? Transduction of light. Retinoic acid is concerned with the maintenance of normal differentiation of cornea and conjunctival membrane. Has got role in Ward's vicious cycle. Has got antioxidant property. Has got role in embryonic development, maintaining integrity of the epithelial cells, and also growth, differentiation and activation of B lymphocytes. Retinol are necessary for the maintenance of immune function also. Okay, that is, it helps in cell differentiation and proliferation, maintains adequate levels of natural killer cells, shown to increase phagocytic activity in murine macrophages. That is, it has got some role in immune function also. Okay, it has got some role in immune function also. These are the 2 types of, I will explain it later. Just see the functions of vitamin A now. Which all are they? Helps in transduction of light, helps in normal differentiation of cornea and conjunctival membrane, involved in Ward's vicious cycle, has got antioxidant property, maintains the integrity of epithelium, helps in embryonic development, then activation of B lymphocytes, and also has got some role in immune function. So next about the vitamin A role in gene expression. The retinoic acid is involved in it. The retinoic acid binds with the nuclear receptors. The nuclear receptors are of in case of just before session, this I explained about how the vitamin A acts on the target cell. Within the target cell, it is converted to retinoic acid, and this retinoic acid will binds to the retinoic acid receptors. Correct, cellular retinoic acid receptors, and this will which are the nuclear receptors, and this will then binds to the hormone response elements of the DNA. This retinoic acid binding receptors, that is nuclear receptors, can be either RAR or RXR. There are 2 types of receptors, RAR or RXR. Okay, the all trans retinoic acid and non-cis retinoic acid act like steroid hormones, that is, they binds to the hormone responsive elements of the DNA. The retinoid acid receptors, RAR receptors, on the RAR receptors the all trans retinoic acid will bind, and on the RXR receptors the non-cis retinoic acid binds. Okay, On the RAR receptors, the trans retinoic acid bind, and RXR receptors, the 9-cis retinoic acid binds. The RXR receptors, one of the peculiar features of RXR receptors is that on this the 9-cis retinoic acid binds and it forms dimers with vitamin D, thyroid and other nuclear acting hormone receptors. Okay. So it will bind, it forms dimers with vitamin D, thyroid and other nuclear acting hormone receptors. So what is the importance of this? So whenever there is deficiency of vitamin D and all, this does not happens. That is, it does not form dimers with it. Usually it has to form dimers with vitamin D, thyroid and other nuclear acting hormone receptors, retinoid X receptors. Okay. So the vitamin A, that is 9-cis retinoic acid, 9-cis retinoic acid receptor, that is RXR receptors, form dimers with what? Vitamin D receptors. So this explains why there is deficiency of vitamin A impairs vitamin D function. Okay, so whenever there is deficiency of vitamin A, it also impairs vitamin D function and also the thyroid function and all. This is because the retinoid X receptors forms dimers with vitamin D receptors and also with the thyroid and other nuclear acting hormone receptors. Hope it's clear. There are two types of retinoid acid receptors is there, and retinoid X receptors is there. This retinoid, on the retinoid acid receptors, all trans retinoic acid binds, and on retinoid X receptors the 9-cis retinoic acid binds. Okay, this retinoid X receptor, that is RXR receptors, form dimers with vitamin D receptors, thyroid receptors and other nuclear acting hormone receptors. So whenever there is deficiency of vitamin A, this will also impair the function of vitamin D. So what's the role of vitamin A in reproductive system? It supports spermatogenesis in males and it prevents fetal miscarriages, atrophy of germinal epithelium and sterility in females. It also has got some antioxidant and anti-cancerous role. Retinoids most likely affects apoptosis. There is induction of BCL2 mRNA and they alter the cellular differentiation, maintains epithelial differentiation, induces mucus production, stimulate fibronectin production, decreases the synthesis of collagenases and keratin in fibroblasts, and they prevent heart attack. So what are the antioxidant property? They alter the cellular differentiation, maintains epithelial differentiation, induces mucus production, stimulate fibronectin production, also decreases the synthesis of collagenase, and they also prevents heart attack. The vitamin A also has got some antioxidative property, that is the beta carotene scavenges free radicals. It can be used as complementary to vitamin E and also helps prevention of cancers. Okay. So what are the causes of vitamin A deficiency? It is due to as we discussed before, it can be either due to decreased intake or decreased absorption as occurs in obstructive jaundice, or reduced synthesis of RBP as in the case of cirrhosis of the liver, that is retinol binding protein, and retinol binding proteins excreted through urine in case of chronic nephrosis. So what are the causes of vitamin A deficiency? Due to decreased intake in case of obstructive jaundice, in liver cirrhosis and chronic nephrosis. So what are the therapeutic uses of vitamin A? The all-trans retinoic acid is used in promyelocytic leukemia, and in case of skin aging, topical applications of retinoin can be used. In case of severe acne, isotretinoin can be used. Okay, promyelocytic leukemia, then skin aging and severe acne. These are the therapeutic uses. So how to diagnosis of deficiency? by looking the typical features. Then vitamin A levels in the serum will be decreased. Retinol binding protein level in the serum will be decreased. Dark adaptation time will be increased in case of vitamin A deficiency. These are all the main features for the diagnosis. Look for the typical features of vitamin A deficiency, that is ocular features and extraocular manifestations. Then about the level of vitamin A in the serum, level of retinol binding protein in the serum, then dark adaptation time, which will be increased in vitamin A deficiency. Which all are the investigations that can be done? Bone X-rays. Then about, so vitamin A deficiency is associated, it will also improve vitamin D function. So bone X-rays is important, blood calcium test is important. Then cholesterol test, that is vitamin A is required for cholesterol synthesis, therefore cholesterol test is important. Liver function test and blood test to check vitamin A levels. These are all the other investigations. So initial investigations includes what? Vitamin A level in the serum, RBP in the serum, and look for the dark adaptation test. So let me introduce a term called hypercarotenemia. It is due to persistent excessive consumption of foods rich in carotenoids, that is beta carotene. Okay, here the skin will become yellow and sclera will be spared. It is due to the excessive consumption of what? Foods rich in carotenoids. Okay. So this completes the vitamin A. Hope it's clear. Today what we as a summary today what we discussed about the role of vitamin A in vision. We discussed about the Wahl's vicious cycle. What are the 2 points in Wahl's vicious cycle? Generation of nerve impulses and regeneration of Leven's retina. Then what we discussed, the other roles. What are the other roles of vitamin A? It has got antioxidant property, it has got role in reproductive system, has got role in what? Anti-cancerous property, then has got function role in immune system. And then we discussed about the 2 types about dark adaptation and also about the photosensitive cells of the retina, that is rods and cones. And also we discussed about its role in gene regulation, where we discussed about the 2 types of receptors, retinoid acid receptors and retinoic X receptors. In retinoid acid receptors, all trans retinoic acid binds, and in retinoid X receptors, the 9-cis retinoic acid binds, and this RXR receptors form dimers with vitamin D receptors and also thyroid receptors and other nuclear receptors. Okay. And then we discussed about what are the investigations that should be done for the in order to identify the deficiency of vitamin A, what are the causes of vitamin A, and lastly about the hypercarotenemia. Hope it's clear. Thank you.